Mohini. So, could you tell me a little bit about your college, where you went, and which course you did?
Yeah. So I did my master's in clinical psychology from Tata Institute of Social Science. So basically, they have an off campus branch in Chennai where it is associated with an NGO called Banyan, which generally works with women with homeless women with mental illness. And there, the college is called the Banyan Academy of Leadership in Mental Health. So it's like an experience which is very different from what I would say from a general college, because there the campus we shared with the people who were with the women who were homeless, and it was like a house or a home for them, and we had our classes there. So it was like an on-field uh, education, which just gave us, I would say, a lot of exposure in that sense. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. It sounds really interesting, actually. But what is your admission process like? Was there an entrance test and an interview? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So the entrance process was a little lengthy. To start with, TISS had a general TISS net exam, which generally happens in December. You have to fill the form around November, and then there's a general qualifying test, which is applicable for all courses. After that, you have a specialized either a group discussion, but in case of psychology, you have a written exam, which is basically a theory exam which has certain fill in the blanks questions or basic one liner questions. And after that, on the same day, there's an interview. So the TISNET exam generally happens in your own uh, home city. However, for for the further procedures, you have to go to Bombay, where you have your theory and your interview. So yeah.
So approximately, like, how many seats are there for your entire course? I mean, how many students were there in your class?
Okay. So, pertaining to psychology, there are two courses: psychology in like clinical psychology, masters in clinical psychology, and masters in counseling psychology. So, for each courses, there are almost like in. So basically, this whole thing is in Bombay and Chennai. So for both the course, there are 40 seats. Basically, 20 in Chennai, 20 in Bombay, 20 for counseling in Chennai, and 20 for counseling in Bombay. So yeah.
Great. So you must have like a very one-to-one relationship with your teachers. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So what can you tell me about your psychology department itself? Like, do you think that the faculty was great and all, or could you, yeah, please tell me
Yeah,
more
yeah.
about it?
So the reason I really love my college is because of my faculty. Each and every faculty member was just amazing. So basically, they were practitioners who had their clinics, or they've been practicing in different arenas, which includes, for example, they took life skill workshops. They had their own therapy centers. Additionally, they were also teaching us. So they did bring a lot of, I would say, a lot of in hand experience which they had. And a lot of the examples came from their own experiences. So that just made the lectures more interesting and more in depth. Just gave us a lot insight into how it's going to be when we really, graduate and going to be there and working. So that's definitely there.
Right. That sounds really interesting, actually. But okay, so what about the campus? Like, was it a great campus for like a student like at your age? What is it like? Was there like good connectivity to the city and such?
Okay, so the campus is a really cute little campus, small campus. Definitely not something which we expect, you know, graduating from like Delhi University. We have big campuses, big fest and everything. It's nothing like that. However, it's like a small family, I would say. Everybody knows everybody. Basically, this particular college just had three courses, which was clinical psychology, counseling, and masters in social work with specialization in like mental health. So that's So that's there. So everybody knows everybody. And additionally, as I've already mentioned, how the women lived there, that just gave us a lot of homely feeling. I would say that each time I walked into the campus, I felt like I'm just walking in a house, because they greet us like that. They just ask us like, "Did we have food?" That was a basic question. So that's something there. It's very different, however. Like, we're not very connected with the city. There is a little this thing that you have to travel a little more to reach the college, and it's like also a little away from the city, but then you have to manage. It's like one of those thing, like, you would say that the road less taken, but then you have to take it, because then it's just gonna give you a new experience.
And would you know about the hostel and the mess and the food and all? Like, you did live in the hostel, right? So, okay, you didn't.
There's no hostel.
All right, so there's no hostel for the college at all. Okay,
Yeah.
but so you were a day scholar,
Yeah.
and you had to travel every day to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
college.
yeah.
All right.
However, they do have a bus service, which they do have a bus service which they do, which applies for everybody. And I would say, from the places we live, it was almost 8 kilometers for us to travel back and forth. So yeah, that's how it is.
Finally, like, so were there any negatives to the college? Like, did you think that there's anything that maybe you didn't really love about the college?
Yeah, because also it's a really like newly budding college. I would say that placement cell was definitely a problem. You really don't have, it was still building, like, as from my batch and my older batches from me. They were, trying to establish the placement cells for us to get placements, which is like a little drawback for us, because if you're out there, you have to go ahead and look for your own jobs. So yeah, like, work is still going on, but then yeah, that's definitely a drawback. And also the connectivity to other colleges, which really, lagged us to interact with other colleges. And we really don't know what's going on in other colleges, and they don't know what's going on in this college, I would say. So that's the only negative.
Yeah. So also, so any advice you would like to give, like students who want to go to this college or to crack TISS and all that?
Yeah. First thing I would say is, like, just like shed your expectations from a typical college. Just like go with the flow. Just like accept things how it's coming. It's gonna give you a lot of experience only when you're not have certain preconceptions about it. You're gonna learn a lot. It's just basically one of the main thing I would say is, like, just be ready to unlearn a lot of learning. Yeah, yeah. And specific to TISSNET, yes, you have to study. It's gonna be pretty easy, but if you study.
So as with most exams. All right. So thank you so much, Mohini. That was amazing. Like, great, you sold me on this college. But yeah, thank you so much.